morning. Good morning. It is Thursday. Yes, it's Thursday, haircut day for me. I almost forgot there for a second. I'm like, are we on Wednesday or Friday? I'm like, which one is it? I don't know. I forget. I forget pretty easily sometimes which day we're at because I'm just excited about every single day. To me, every day is the same. It's just another day, and I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful to wake up every single morning and get to do this one more day. Get another shot at life. It's amazing. But but what I will say right now in terms of the levels, I mean, I'm not very happy. It's not a matter of being happy or not happy. It's just look where we're at. I want to show you this. Why are you getting stuck, huh? All right, there we go. That's better. Kind of in play better here. Getting ready, getting ready. All right. So right now we're basically right at the all-time high. This is becoming an all-time high right now. That's 76 and maybe 6 3/4. 77 currently right now is the all-time high. We are basically 1 point right below the all-time high. So what I'm gonna be saying is basically I got pretty much nothing to be doing here right now. And I don't see anything. If you guys do, let me know. But I pretty much see nothing here. I mean, there is some little resistance here at 77 to be said, I guess, and talked about. You can see right here, 77. I'm actually gonna mark that already. 77. So 77 right now is the first point where we kind of pull back from. That is the current all-time high. So I guess the only real, level that I can kind of talk about here right now is 77, which is some resistance that could potentially make us head on lower. Will I be shorting that resistance? Absolutely not. I am just saying that, we are getting stuck below that current all-time high. And I'm going to be waiting for the pullback today if we can manage to get it. If not, this thing's just going to rip. And then I'll be waiting for the back test of 97 in order to be able to get long. But I cannot get long here. I mean, there's no way that I can pull the trigger here. There's no setup. There's no nothing here for me. And at the same time, I can't really short here because I don't go against the grain. I'll be waiting for weakness to be shorting ES. So the game today is very simple. I'm going to stay out of this 59, 69, and 76 range. If I don't make a trade, then so be it. I'm not going to be in a rush. But right now, like I said, this is pretty much the only level I can talk about here. This is going to be some mild resistance. It's the all-time high there. But is it going to work and get us all the way back on down? Probably not. Maybe. We'll see. But I hope it does because, I mean, look at this. On a big picture scale, the big time frame, this is the daily chart I got pulled up for you here. Can you like argue with me that it's okay if we pull back a little bit? You know what I mean? Like, I know that the dip is gonna come, and whenever the dip comes, everybody's gonna start to be like, all right, that was the top now. Now we can start thinking short bias, and it's gonna be basically rinse and repeat again, where I'm basically looking for the long, and I'm telling you that we are not pulling back in terms of a trend change or anything. We could be in a pullback mode whenever the pullback comes in. Just don't lose your mind over, the fact that we're gonna pull back. The charts don't move up and up forever. You know what I mean? They need pullbacks. We could pull back 150 points or today 200 points, and it would still be a bullish picture. I mean, there's only one key level that needs to hold here, and take a while to guess which one it is. That's the level where we took off from Tuesday. No, yeah, right here on Tuesday. So this is that key level that if we fail here, again, aligning with the same value of the video I put out on Tuesday, which is if we were to fail here, if we were to fail this level, back test, head on lower, I do know the big trend leg is coming to the downside. So I don't ever need to guess which way I need to be looking at, you know, the long or the short. So very simple. Above here, I'm very bullish, right? But now when we're up here, you know, we got to exercise some caution, some patience, because we cannot long here, but we cannot short it either, because I cannot short this responsibly and tell you that it's a good short. Like, all I have here is this little trend line there that it doesn't even really align with how I draw a trend line. So I just know it's some resistance there, and hence we're making an all-time high there. But that's pretty much all I got there. So what I'm waiting for is I'm hoping for some type of dip today, and then buy it so that we can get on with the rip. That makes sense. And those are going to be 3 key levels, which if you are not on the Discord community, well, you can feel free and join. It's 100% free. I already mentioned there the 3 key levels that are going to be very important for today. 47.50 being the first one. Next is going to be 25, 27, and 19. And then you might be wondering where, like, you know, like, why, where do these levels come from? Did I make them up? No, I did not make them up. If I could, let me give you the rundown in a second. Like that, you understand. It's gonna make some sense. Plus, we have some time here, and like I said, I'm not excited about trading here right now. So I'll give you the long version of the 3 levels. I just pinned the link on the chat. If you're interested, feel free to join. And yeah, so let's get on with this. So why those 3 levels? Well, and we just made a new all-time high. So 47.50 is going to be right down here. Looking at it on the 15-minute chart would be a little bit easier. So let me bring it. Oh yeah, I am on that screen right now. So 47.50 is pretty much the only level that I can tell you about it down here that kind of came into play overnight. This is the overnight lows right here. It's 51.25, but I kind of tend to like more of that 47.50. Why? Because, I mean, look at this. Again, ES is a never-ending story that must go back. You must go back. I kind of like this chop area a little bit better. 47 to the 50 right here. Right there. So this is going to be first key level of support. You can see that this was a clear resistance, clear rejections off that level. Some trapping happening to the downside here. And then right after that, on the session low overnight, we basically don't quite test all the way down towards that 50.47, but we do get a bounce from 51, basically cementing the level of support. Again, this is the very first level after a, I don't even remember, 200-300 point rally. I mean, yeah, after 150 point, 250 rally, it's okay if it fails, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying on the Discord is basically if we can dip below this level, maybe do a trap and reclaim this level, well, then I'll be interested looking to the upside here. But the key thing here that I'm talking about is waiting for something to happen here, a trap. That's something that I'm waiting for. I don't really necessarily want to get long right off the test and go, because that already happened over here in the morning. So that already played out, you know what I mean? Like this already has played out. So what I'm thinking now is if we can trap something like this, well, then we likely push on higher. And the next key level is going to be, well, I can just go on my chart here. Again, I'm giving you the boring long version of this, okay? But 27, 25, and 25. You might be wondering why 27, 25. Well, 27, 25 and That was exactly the previous all-time high. So going back again into the big time frame, this was the previous all-time high right here. The previous high was 27.25 to the tick. And this is why I love technical analysis, that we don't really need to guess. You know what I mean? What price to do kind of something. We don't guess because, well, the price is pretty straightforward. Bert said, he says, good morning. Buenos dias, amigo. Buenos dias. But going back to this 27.25, you can clearly see that this was the previous all-time high. There's no way that I can make up these numbers. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not here making my own numbers up. I'm following the price. So if 27.25 is the previous all-time high, what I'm also here saying is that with FOMC, anything is possible. And if we get the dip, maybe we do a little reclaim here. We can push up higher, creating the trap below that previous all-time high. So again, what's the theme that I'm kind of telling you here? We need a setup, we need a trap, we need an action to have a reaction. Right now we're already reacting from that bounce of support down there, you know what I mean? And yesterday morning we had a little trap as well. And going back to yesterday morning, which is I think we got long 06. So going further 25.27 is that next level. So now you know the second level of why I'm looking for that trap. I know there's a long version to, you know, I could have just told you the 3 levels and I did, but like I said, I'm not going to be trading up there, so I can give you that longer version. Correct. So I want to take a long at the previous high. That's going to be a key level. However, understand what I'm also saying. So I'm looking for a flush below that high. So this is the previous high, right? 27.25 exactly to the tick. So what I'll be watching is if we can perhaps kind of dip, maybe test 19. Ideally, you want to see a trap be about 3 to 5 points. There is no standard guideline to this, right? With the volatility, more volatility coming in, it could be wider. But in general, on a normal day, 3 to 5 points is typically enough for basically the flush, the reclaim, and then the V that we're always looking for. So yes, the previous high will be a key level for me. And that's how I kind of gather, you know, key levels that are important in the market today. So that's going to be a second area of interest of mine. And that's kind of it. I mean, if we break down those 2 levels, so like, let's say, you know, this level just kind of flushes or anything like that, anything along those lines that show weakness, I can know at that point that support has failed, that the Jenga block is falling. And when that happens, this is what happens. It's kind of like pulling that block out, and then the pullback comes in, which is that dump that everybody's waiting for. So what I'm saying is, let's not guess when the dump is coming. Let's not guess where the top is in the market, because people today are waking up probably feeling short, feeling whatever, a bunch of feelings. But I can tell you that, you know, anybody who's not trading price is likely thinking that we're pulling back today. And they have a good reason for it. They do have a good, valid reason for it. However, I'm not going to sit and guess, because there's just too much money lost every time you try to pick a top. There's just too much money to be lost trying to short this market. And if I show you this, look at the big picture. This is the daily chart. In the last 3 days, 1, 2, even right now, give me a good spot to short. Look at these candles. Do they look like they're shortable candles? I don't think so. I know there's little pullbacks inside of them, but what I'm saying is, why? Like, inside of this day, it would have just been easier to be a buyer. Does that make sense? Because either way, even if you didn't quite get it right, you could have fucked it up a lot. But even if you didn't quite get it right, at least you would have been with the trend, and overall you would have probably likelihood had been rewarded to the long side. We want to go with the trend. So first level is that 47.50, 47, sorry, 59.50, 947. I'm still thinking about numbers back on Tuesday. It's only been 2 days since we had this massive rally. Okay, I gotta get used to the 59 versus the 57 in the front. But I hope you get what I'm saying. We're looking for traps. And this 57.50, 57.47, as like I already kind of gave you a rundown as to why this is a key level here. I want to see what type of action we get here. If we fail below this level, I am thinking short until the 27.25. Does that make sense? Why 27.25? Because I understand that that is the next level of major support, which is the previous all-time high. Previous all-time high became resistance. We were below that 27.25 from Thursday, October 17 until November November 6th. So that level of resistance acted up pretty nicely for quite some time. And therefore, when we rip through it as we have, it is highly likely that we will test that level and have some type of reaction from it. Also, another thing, while yes, I am waiting for the dip, I do want it to dip because, I mean, look at this chart. Why am I waiting for the dip? I'm waiting for the dip because I want to get a piece of this move, right? So right now, I cannot take a long. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gambling a little bit at this point. There is no setup for me to be trading. I have no edge in the marketplace buying right here. I have nothing. You know what I mean? We just made a new all-time high there by another tick. Could we squeeze? Probably. It's still a better... I would still rather long than short here, believe it or not. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? You cannot long right below the high pre-market and expect for this thing to continue, even though it likely will. You know what I mean? And I cannot short it because, well, I don't see this as a shortable thing either. So what's my best play? How do I preserve my money? Because remember, that is what it comes down to at the end. It's not the market. You're not fighting the market. You're fighting yourself. Why do you need to make a trade? If there's no setup, there's nothing on the screen for you, you must wait. And it's okay to wait. Believe it or not, when you rush into trades or you want to look for a trade that isn't there, you tend to do worse. Whereas simply waiting for price to come to you, it takes a lot of the headaches out. It takes a lot of like the stress from your head out. And at the end of the day, you're going to be following your plan. So you're going to be able to walk away feeling proud with how you did. This is about preserving your money. It's not about making money or losing money right away. Preserve. Remember, the analogy I'm going to give you is if we're kind of at war with the market a little bit. We want to be a sniper. We want to pick our shots and kind of wait, sit there, you know, and take them. We don't want to be AK-47 shooters and just trying to buy everything, you know what I mean? Or short everything. Gotta fix this up. Less trading is more profits. More trading is less profits, in my opinion. For me, that's my perspective. Just please, when the pullback comes in, don't go thinking that, you know, we're gonna be crashing and that, you know, it's the end of the world, that the high is in, and forget that nonsense. You know what I mean? It's FOMC later at 2 o'clock. I don't even know if I'm gonna trade this morning because at 2 o'clock we're gonna have the major event, and it's likelihood that after a 200-point rally, 150-point rally, and major news events or a major catalyst happening at 2 p.m. today, it's very likely that the odds are pointing towards a little bit of chop this morning, which would be okay, right? We need to understand our situation where we're at in the market. And then when we are on pullback mode, I get excited because I know it's going to open up the doors to the traps and hitting multiple levels of support. But today I'm going to be doing something different because I found myself getting caught in the traps. I can feel the pullbacks. This is where, okay, this might sound weird. So We all know this is going to pull back, right? We all know it. To the extent of how much the pullback is going to be, no one knows. But I do know that it's going to be the first sign of that pullback at 47.50. This level fails down here, I know the pullback is coming. This is like a warning shot for the bulls right here. And the pullback, I'm saying temporarily price deduction. It's like a sale on price, basically. Okay. But we can short. I'm going to be shorting below that level there because at that point, I feel and I know I'm shorting weakness. My issue is whenever these pullbacks come in, price breaks down here, and then I end up looking for the long down at different levels. So obviously, I learned from my mistakes. Today, I will not. I will only be shorting maybe once below there until the 20s. After that, I'm looking for longs at the 27.25, which implies I could be looking at potentially 2 trades. And if 27.25 fails, I'm looking at a potential short down there. And then I do know the pullback is coming for real, like not 20 points. Like we're going to be pulling back substantially. And then you might be like, well, why? I already gave out the long explanation to the levels, why I think they're important, why they're key. But for now, the trend is your friend. I'm waiting for the dip so we can get on with the rip. And we need a trap. 3 to 5 points is typically enough. With volatility happening later at 2 o'clock, obviously the traps could be like 10 points. But that's why, if you're not comfortable trading that, don't do it. 3-point stops on Thursday where FOMC is happening, it's probably not a smart idea. And you must, and this is the other key thing if you're going to trade later on, you must take one trade with a very good setup at a key level. And if you are green and you lock in profit, you must walk away. You do not stay there and try to get the next move. Don't do that. Don't do that. With the volatility that's going to be coming in, while that sounds great to newer traders, like, oh my gosh, if I can make 500, I'm going to be able to make $1,500, $2,000, right? Or if I can make 100, I can make 500, right? Wrong. That's not how you should be going into it. You should be thinking, if I can lose 100 on a day, I can lose 500 on this particular day. So it might be a wise move not to trade. It's very algo driven, very trappy. You must expect it, wait for it, and follow the trap if you're going to be trading later on. Buenos dias. Buenos dias. By the way, this will be your infomercial for the day. We are, I did mention all these levels ahead of time on the free Discord community. If you're not signed up and if you're not there, there are no in-app purchases. That's what's nice about the community. So it's always free no matter what. But yeah, you can feel free to join. The link is pinned to the chat there. And of course, we got the magical crystal ball today, which I think we're going to need it. So let's start asking it some questions. If you have some questions you want me to ask for you, type them in the comment. I'll ask it. By the way, the crystal ball was 100% right about Trump winning. Do you guys recall that? When we were asking if Trump was going to win, she knew since Monday. We asked it on Tuesday and she said, certainly, yes. So, crystal ball already knew the answer to the elections. Can you know the answer to today? And the very easy question is 59.50, 59.47 going to fail? And we will finally pull back. That's the first key level of support. Let's find out what the crystal ball has got to say. I won't be mad. Just give me a good answer. Yes. All right. So crystal ball is saying we are likely going to be breaking that level. All right. All right. So then the major question is going to be the next one. Is 59, 27, 25 going to fail? And we will. I wouldn't call it a pullback then. Rug pull. Meaning elevator down. Elevator to the downside. Perhaps. Well, there you have it. She's bearish on the day. Okay, we're gonna find out later on. Which honestly is not a bad thing if we do pull back. I won't be upset. Damn, I need a haircut. I gotta go get one today. Every week on Thursday, I'm always in a rush to go get a haircut. Tacos or burrito? Hmm. You got me good there, man. How do you know I'm a Latino? That's a difficult question to ask a Latino, my friend. Every week, yes. I get a haircut every single Thursday. But tacos or burrito? That's a good question. I mean, I don't know. Fuck. I couldn't pick, man. I don't know. Depends what I'm in the mood for. All right, so right here we're at the all-time highs. I mean, I couldn't responsibly say that, I see anything here in terms of a long or a short. I'm just gonna be patient. I even don't cut my grass every week.